All right, and welcome to the semi-finals. Yosh, I hope you're ready for another battlefield day of ProBots. I am your host, Drekken, and I feel like this is the intro to the Hunger Games, where you're welcome to the 105th episode of the Hunger Games, season of the Hunger Games, because yes, it is season 2 of 2024, but our actual season amount is unknown to me, but you're here again, and we're going to have a lot of fun. So let's bring in our casters into existence. Andersort and Kertrock. Hello. Oh, I guess not. Maybe not. Hello. Ketrock is missing. Ketrock is
Ender,
and Ketrock and Andersort is muted.
Okay.
Where disaster has struck.
All right, we're both here at least. Ender's here.
Okay.
Marcon's mic.
Yeah, I see. You know what? Earlier, I was like, oh, I think Ender's mic was just like disconnected, and I was like, no, never mind. And then maybe it's muted. That's okay.
I can see.
Oh, there he is.
Now? Yeah, okay. I was going to say, I can see the little bar going.
Oh, so weird.
Now, my voice is a little gone. That may hurt, but I'll get through it.
Sensual now. There you go.
Yeah, and the ability to speak.
Be a sexy series of Eris and BenBot.
Indeed.
It's a silent series of Eris and BenBot. All right, well, we're back. This is the semifinals. This is the last time. This is the last one before the finals, and we've made it. We've made it this far, almost to the finals. Ketrock, I mean, you weren't here last week, so did you at least, are you caught up on the games, or do you feel like you know, are you heartbroken that it's not you in this finals or the semifinals?
Been so busy that I only found out a couple of days ago that I was knocked out. So
I had a feeling that might be the case, but
that's good. I don't have two things to worry about now. I can just concentrate on the casting. But yeah, I guess my bot probably never saw that roach rush on the ladder, and it just kind of, my bot learned that it can beat Zergling all in with anything. So it did anything, and anything does not work well versus the roach rush.
Yeah, I was wondering because, like, you know, obviously I wanted your perspective on that as soon as we could, on what your bot had done and how it made the situation it did, and it seemed like it wasn't really reacting to.
Yeah, it went like CC first, and it's kind of reliant on that becoming a planetary. That's like the step one to all the defenses. So the fact that the planetary was prevented, and my bot was just kind of didn't know what to do. We sent it down a tree branch that didn't exist in my bot, so.
And essentially, it didn't. It just was out there into the water, alone and sad.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Just building random things.
Well, Endersword, we're back. You know, how are you for the semifinals? What are you feeling coming in? Oh, you're muted. That's what you feel. You feel muted. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to like reset or refresh Endersword existence on the fly while we. Because he's just he's here 1 minute, gone here today, gone tomorrow.
Why don't you catch me up a little bit?
What
so we're doing the
there
last
he is.
two. Oh,
there he is. Oh.
Okay, so it's listing my microphone twice as default, the microphone, and the microphone itself. Maybe this will work better.
Okay.
We'll see.
All right.
Or it'll just cut out again. We'll see.
We'll find out. We'll find out.
But short answer, I'm fine. Carry on, Ketrock.
I just wonder what's in store for today. So we're seeing the two semifinals. Is that correct?
Well, before we do that, and Sword, you're not going anywhere. You're going to explain to us our squares. Show us the format.
Exactly.
First of all, they're rectangles. If they if they had the same size sides, then they'd be squares, but they're rectangles. So on the left rectangle, we started with the group stage, 4 groups of 4. In that, we had a double elimination tournament, which we refer to as a dual tournament here. The top 2 got out of the group and advanced on to the right triangle, which is the single elimination playoff format, where the quarterfinals were a best of 3. The semifinals are a best of 5, and the finals will be a best of 7. We're going to get the semifinals tonight, thus the present tense.
Yeah.
So, after really pushing how they weren't squares, he went ahead and called them a triangle.
I feel like we should have.
I think it's better.
arrows.
If
Yeah,
we're,
you think it's
so
better?
I'm going for next. I'm going to jump right past circle and go to sphere,
Well,
and
let's
we're
see.
going to hit some 3D properties.
Okay, well, let's
After
see
that,
how
the humans
the
versus
brackets.
rhombus. You know.
Ah, yes, the rhombus. I'll get into that in a second, but yeah, this is where we are for in the single eliminations. We had Eris up against Tyr. That was actually a pretty romp stomping game. Eris and Tyr going back and forth, 2-1. Yeah, BenBot 2-1 versus SharkBot. That was I don't know. That was a lot unexpected. There was so much potential there. And then Xena versus Micro Machine 2-0, and Zozo versus 12 Poolbot. 12 Poolbot is on a rampage right now. Unexpected, making it through, I think, against the odds. Like, if this was an end of sword bet, like, you know, end of sword was making a bet, he would make a lot of money if he had betted on 12 Poolbot because of those odds.
Pretty good bot.
A pretty good bot. Unexpected. If you asked me if this is the bot that would take Eris into the losers bracket, I would call you a liar. But here we are with Eris back into the winners circle, into the winners against BenBotBC and Xena versus 12 Poolbots. So I think we're steady as we go with the top part, and then rock'em sock'em robots at the bottom. Who knows what will come of these random bots, and then this nutty.
Employed the most clever tactic of all time, which is to call itself 12 pool bot and then roach rush people.
I mean,
like, that's not fair.
I think that's the bait of the century. And then we have Xena, who seems to adopt the strategies of other bots, like, you know, wears their faces, and you never know what he might produce next. So I'm excited to see Xena specifically, what it has in store with 12 pool bot, and if they anticipated the situation. It may not be. We're not going to go into that yet. I want to talk about a couple things. Production, bring us back, because what you need to do out there in terms of predictions is predict that you need to hit that subscribe button. That's it. You got to hit that, or the like button, and all those good things. And those bots are ready to be played. We have all the bots except for Ketrock. Ketrock, for whatever reason, just doesn't like to play against humans. So, oops, wrong exclamation mark. What did I call this one this time? Play, exclamation mark, play. Well, I'll let you play against the bots. I'll give you the link in the chat to play against the bots. So get those games in, because we'll be casting those replays this Saturday, some of the best replays out there. And we'll get to see how well they've done this season. This time we will have avoided the problem of using the AIE maps, or hopefully I'll have to ask, make sure our our admin has ensured that they did not use the AIE maps and use the ladder maps, which should give better results than we had last season, because I think we had that, and there was a bit of some bots didn't perform very well. I think Micro Machine did not do too well playing against on real time with the AIE maps. So I'm hoping to see some stronger results this time.
Yeah. I think
Possibly.
they're even, now that we've figured out all the map situation, I think it wouldn't even make that much of a difference. I think everything's the same between those two maps.
AIE and the LE maps?
Yeah. LE's probably safest, just to be sure, but
yeah.
If we got everything right on the maps now, there shouldn't be any differences between
Well, we had some requests from bot authors that we use the LE maps, so
yeah, it's definitely safer.
Yeah. So hopefully our admin was able to include that. If you don't and you're playing against them, and as well, make sure you submit the first game. Don't submit the 6th game or the 10th game. There should be hopefully a dummy bot in there.
No cheating.
Yeah, there should be a dummy bot in there for you to set up your keys first, so you don't have to worry about the mishaps. But other than that, I want to hear from you, Anderson. What are you looking for tonight in terms of matches?
Yeah, tonight, I guess looking forward to, well, 12 Poolbot again, I think is going to be interesting. I think it's just basically both matchups aren't necessarily what we would have expected at this point. So, and I think it's kind of the first time in a while that it's been like that, that we've got like pretty unexpected results in the semifinal. So, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just eager to see. I think they'll both be good games, and I think that the fact that it's a best of 5 probably will come into play in at least one of them.
Ket Rock, your feelings towards going into this?
Yeah, this will be really interesting. Xena's getting stronger and stronger, and even just watching in a PostBots episode, like some of the really unique and advanced things that Xena's able to do that is well beyond my bot. Yeah, see a lot of potential in Xena, where it could be very strong if it just gets cuts out all those like little mistakes that bots tend to make. And then BenBot and Eris is going to be an incredible series. Two veterans, two bots that are very hard to kill. You have to earn the victory to beat either one of those two.
And I mean, I don't know how much, and you guys will obviously discuss this, but whether or not BenBot's contain will work on Eris. I don't know if I've seen it done on Eris, and whether or not it will even attempt it. It may not even attempt trying to contain Eris with the bunker. I feel like that doesn't work too well on Zerg, but
yeah. I think he had a version that was specifically for Eris, where he like bunkers outside of the natural, like so it contains on 2 bases. It's kind of different, but somewhat works. I don't know. I'm not sure what the meta is between those two, because it worked against Eris, and Eris fixed something, and now it doesn't work, and then maybe BenBots fix something again. We'll have to see.
I don't know if we've seen an Eris, but like I don't remember the last time I've seen an Eris BenBot. I cannot say the last time I've seen an Eris BenBot. And what the end result was from that, but this is probably, I feel like, a unlikely matchup. I feel like when Eris plays, and Eris is usually on the top row, and BenBot maybe is coming in at 5th or 6th, and I don't know if they lose the first round in the round of 8. I don't even get a chance to get to Eris, so this may be something that's been an old matchup, or I'd have to look into our records, but yeah, absolutely. All right, before we get started and I give you off to the casters, I want to remind you as well, one of the last and important things, ProBots is brought to you by great viewers like you, ! Join if you want to get into our membership. And even tomorrow, we will have a post bot where we will show and tell, show what people are working on, and then you can show it. And then every Monday, we do mob programming. Our bot is almost ready to go on the micro ladder. Man, we have worked quite some time, and so that's where we have a pilot and a navigator, and MindMe and Dogatato joined me this past Monday to add and contribute to the code. So if you become a member, join up, you can get your name added to the author list and do some group programming. So that's a lot of fun. Other than that, that's my spiel. All right, let's I'll take you off to the casters. Casters, take us away for the night.
Alrighty. So yeah, I think we got some pretty good ones tonight. We got the return of Eris to the semifinals, with BenBot being the opponent. And BenBot has just kind of been getting better and better over time.
Yeah, I mean, he was a top 4 or
yeah, he's been a couple times.
Yeah. Last time he made it right to the end, I think. And then yeah, and we've seen some weaknesses in Eris versus Terran.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about this tournament, as I missed the tier series, but in the past tiers, been able to tear Eris apart with some Hellion harass. He's been able to do some late game, really good trading with Ghost Liberator sort of idea. So there's been examples out there for BenBot to follow for how to beat Eris, and then plus BenBot's super solid in his own right. But yeah. Eris is kind of the the final boss. The expectation is for Eris to 3-0 everyone, so we'll have to see.
Definitely the case. It seems that people have kind of leaned on what we kind of knew would potentially be a weakness for a while, which is that Eris is really, really greedy in the early game. So there are ways to exploit that, and we've seen some take advantage of that, but the later in the game you go, the more stable kind of Eris becomes. BenBot tends to be patient and wants to go to the late game too, though. So whether he continues to play that way and just get up to hopefully an insurmountable amount of carriers or battleships, or whether or not Eris is going to kind of take over and, just neural parasite all of those and make them irrelevant.
Yeah, neural is pretty strong, but carriers, or sorry, I'm saying it
Yeah,
now.
sorry.
Battlecruisers do have the ability to be really cost efficient, especially if you just kind of like Yamato and step back and just keep that cycle going.
Yeah.
And that is sort of BenBot's style. He likes to expand slowly and just be cost efficient. So I could see carriers working out well with that. But yeah, Eris and Nana, they've gotten really good with not only neural parasite, but then controlling the battle cruisers after they neural them, jumping them into like spore crawlers and all those cool things to finish them off.
Yeah, definitely. And given that BenBot gets really cautious with battle cruisers when the cooldown is down on that teleport, you can kind of make them retreat a lot more and just wait when that's not available.
Yeah. I don't think we've seen the bot really do a good job of trying to target down the infestors that are grabbing onto them. I think in the API we don't actually know.
Do you even recognize that?
No,
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
You know when you're knurled. And then you can see like, okay, what infestors are nearby the knurled unit, so you can kind of guess that way. But even just having logic to just prioritize killing infestors, like it would be probably enough to really counter that neural parasite play.
Yeah, that's something for people that don't know. Like, obviously, the bots don't literally see things the way that we do. So, like, a big neural arm coming out to the battlecruiser, it doesn't necessarily see that. So it doesn't know which one is actually doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Targeted abilities in general, the bot doesn't know. So
yeah,
anything that kind of locks onto something else, well, except for lock on, it's because lock on's a different type of ability.
Yeah,
but,
sure.
Everything else, like if you're sniping a unit, you don't know which unit is sniping it and things like that. But that's something I was gonna say. I can't remember. All right, you take over.
All right. All right. Well, there's our maps. We're gonna be starting here on Oceanborn in just a moment, and I don't know. This is one that could be a sweep one way, but I think it may vary depending on whether BenBot goes for a proxy or not. So let's jump in and see what's up.
Eris. BenBotBC.
All right, I think you can guess what happened there.
Yeah.
With the bunker. However, I think there's still SCVs coming out, so is there a spotter on that location? I guess the Overlord might be able to see.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a little unusual because he, was the barracks proxied at all? Because it's built back home. Usually he doesn't do both things.
I think it was just the bunker.
Yeah.
That Vo went down there.
Yeah.
And third hatch right away out of Eris, so very good response. Pulling the workers, being able to put them onto second base when they kill the bunker, and then taking an immediate third once the threat has gone away. Interesting how the Marine is still there, however. Is this SCV going to be able to
one? This is a combination. I don't think we've only seen him do the forward bunker if he does the forward proxy on the barracks. But him building the barracks at home and still doing this is, I think it's a new behavior.
And this time it's not going to be spotted, so
yeah,
drones are not going to be able to transfer to that third base. That's alone will be. Well, once you place that creep timber, you'll see it though. It's going to be too late. It's going to be complete.
Yeah, it'll be built. Yep, already in place. Bunker will fire at the queen.
You can immediately kill that creep timber. which means
Pick up as well.
yeah, BenBot does actually focus fire with his bunker, which is nice. Sometimes that's one of those chunks of code people forget about, that you can focus fire.
Yeah, and this
bunkers.
drone wants to go over, but is scared. Rightfully.
Yeah, not even mining at the third because he wants to saturate the natural. Yep. So this could be problems. And meanwhile, BenBot's taking his second base, behind economically at the moment, but we'll see how much chaos this bunker brings. Perhaps this will be able to get BenBot a nice little lead.
Yeah, if he can kind of sally out here and go after the individual drones, but Marine gets caught out, but a queen trade for that is definitely a good pickup. And he's really stopping the creep spread from going the way it wants really early, which is Eris is quite good. That getting creep across the map pretty quickly. So if that can be halted, then that's a huge pickup.
Especially as that one queen is sitting there just waiting to place a creep tumor. You can tell that's what it's there for. But it's just like, just let me wait till this bunker walks away. Never gonna happen.
Second one comes and engages, goes down pretty quickly. But these lone Marines won't engage into either of these queens, even though they kind of want to. They're with two, they now will.
Yeah, it looks like these queens, like, if they're given an action, they're willing to walk by the bunker and die, so...
Yeah.
One of those tiny holes that Eris has, that many bots... Like, every bot has, like, a million mistakes it makes. Eris only has, like, 100,000 mistakes it makes. So...
Yeah, losing a few queens, but yeah, now the Ravagers going on this position. So overall, a good response. Like you said, losing a few more units than it had to, but this is the right way to get out of this, and it's not.
Yeah, perfect way to break out, going straight into Ravager. That's exactly what you want to do. I think it's 7 Ravager shots to one-shot a bunker, but with only 1 SCV repairing, just constantly peppering it with 4 is enough. Oh, and it's Sea Tank showing up just too late. If the tank arrived and that bunker was still a lot of hit points, then it would not have been so easy for these Ravagers to cut through. And yeah, making good use of these Ravagers, sending them across the map. Seeing if he can deny the third. I was about to say, like, BenBot's usually hunkered down really well in 2 bases, but he's already taken an early third, and that might not be something he can hold. And in fact, he's not even really bunkered down on those 2 bases. Just the one bunker popping up now. Marauder will be getting inside. A couple Widow Mines behind. The Ravagers are really good at sieging these areas.
Yeah, pretty good at taking down the walls from a distance. SCV's coming out to fight this, but they're not exactly going to be great at it. And with Burrow is available, but there's a Raven there, so it's going to prevent these from infinitely burrowing in the area.
Yeah, Marauders are pretty good as well. They'll make those roaches burrow quite quickly, as we see right here. Oh, no one's even going to kill. However, I did see a Marauder get hit by a Ravager Bile.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's another thing too, right? That the timing or location of it is not known exactly. Like if you see it, how does that work?
They know where the bile is. They can see like the dot on the ground, but the dot disappears before the bile lands. So if you didn't code it well enough, you'll pull all your units away and then say, okay, the dot's gone, I can go back, and then they all go back and get hit by the bile itself. Okay. So BenBot's been around for a while. I don't think he has that issue, but you do have to like extend the period of time. That like once the dot goes away, it's like no, pretend it's still there for a couple more seconds, and then you're safe to go back. First BC's out on the field, like. Really didn't get BenBot hurt much there. Just a few SCVs went down. So able to get that 3-base economy going quickly. Now, Eris is taking his 5th while I say this, so I wouldn't say it's an economic lead by any stretch of the imagination. But he's not far behind, right? The last thing you want to do is be very far behind economically versus Eris. And I think BenBot's in fine shape here.
Yeah, he's at least stable enough that he's getting into the BCs that he wants to. Yeah, has a reasonable economy. BenBot doesn't tend to take everything, tends to go up to like maybe 4 bases, and that's about it. But then tries to be super cost efficient throughout everything, just defensive and patient.
Yeah. I mean, I think BenBot wants to continue expanding beyond 4 bases, because usually by the time he has 4 bases, there's a lot
like,
going on at
creep
that point.
everywhere.
Yeah. You're either winning the game or possibly losing the game, and taking a 5th is almost a moot point by that point. But this might be one of those games where we see a 5th base out of BenBot. He's doing absolutely fine so far, and yeah, got a nice economy, a nice little army going for him. Spire is almost complete for Eris. Let's see if that's going to be his patented Muta play, or whether it's just going to be some corruptors to deal with the inevitable BCs. A lot of Hydras being built as well. I even see a Transport Overlord. I wonder if he's... Sometimes he likes to put like one queen into a Pooping Overlord and just travel around the map and keep dropping out the queen, placing creep 2 and moving on to the next location. That's kind of fun. Nice way to get the creep started on the other side of the map as well. I assume Endersword's working on his mic at the moment. I think I hear your mic
keeps
bumping
cutting
around.
in and out. Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know. I keep watching the bar, and when it goes to 0, I have to just reload it. But I'll figure it out between games. I may have to just refresh this whole thing.
So little engagement is going to happen in the middle here. We do have a Yamato going off. Ooh. Okay, so he does survive.
He's usually pretty good at knowing when to jump out, but yeah, stuff like the Biles playing a role on that. That may be harder to estimate.
Yeah, he was Yamatoing at the time, and he lost all of his hit points to get that Yamato off, which probably isn't even worth the repair costs if you're getting it back to full. Especially if you just killed like a Mutalisk or something. Corrupt is a different story. That's a much more expensive unit.
This PF trying to get up in time.
Yeah, didn't quite finish in time. Now it's done, and there's a couple SCVs on our side, 4 SCVs, and none of them are being targeted down. So
if
maybe
any
that's a
army
hold
was
with
still
auto
with them,
turrets.
then
It's so
but
close.
it's not enough.
Yeah. Okay, that's a big win by Eris. So now knocking BenBot back down to his 4 bases. And it's not like a base he was just trying to get up. That was a base that was done. It was a complete planetary by that point.
Yeah, if it was 5, 10, probably 10 seconds earlier and was able to actually fight with the army, then that would have been a good point to hold this. But these bunkers they're trying to repair don't even have anything in them. 1 Marine.
Yeah, not a lot of firepower here. Like 1 Marine, 1 tank, a Hellion, and a Marauder in the back.
Yeah,
Couple
BCs
BCs
come
up
in
top.
from the side. That does help. 1 Corruptor damaged will disengage. But yeah, Roach is just getting more than their value's worth of damage here for sure.
Yeah, I thought BenBot was going to clean that up easily, and not that that would be necessarily bad for Eris, you know, trading his army for a few supply depots just because he has so much economy. But he got a lot more in a few supply depots. He really cut through that front line there.
Yeah, even
Oh, and here's the girls.
there's an arrow.
To bring him in, Hydra's focusing it down. I like that. It's gotta be a little bit of tough decision making actually for a bot to decide like, should I be fighting with this unit while I have the neural available, or should I be trying to kill it immediately? Sometimes you miss your opportunity to kill the BC if you play with it for too long.
Yeah, quite true there. Yeah, there's
this
one
looks like an
tank
overrun
is
at this
kind
point.
of it's kind of held it, but it's getting really low there. It does fall, and that was kind of the last thing, even keeping it even. Yeah, more BC will get pulled into its death.
Very nice, cutting through really well for Eris, because that was BenBot was doing okay there. He had like a decent sized army.
Yeah, definitely started all right, and then just kind of yeah, a few little things timing wise, like again that PF that was almost finished. If it was up, maybe that's a hold.
A bunker contained that almost had a siege tank assisting it. Yeah. There were some close calls that went Eris's way, that's for sure. But yeah, very nice nonetheless.
Yeah, but you see still even in the production tab, Eris just continues to go up and up and up in the tech and the upgrades, everything like that.
And look at the mini map. Remember how late the first creep tumor was?
Yeah.
And now look at it. Entire map covered. Right up until the natural base of BenBot.
Happens.
Yeah, so there's that bunker contained. I wonder if he would have had 2 SCVs here if he didn't lose the first one.
Yeah, quite possible to try and repair this a little bit
Look
longer.
at the siege tank on the mini map. It's so close. Yeah, there it is. I mean, the siege tank could get bowed down by the Ravagers if they just walk into bunker range. But it would have been just interesting to see if he could have held that position out longer. Because he was getting a lot of free queens as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they didn't seem too hesitant to walk in there and die. I think 5 of them had died in that. And yeah, then this breakthrough here, like you've got 2 Neo Steel bunkers, but they were both empty at the time. So it was really just one tank from behind. And yeah, then once the first BC get knurled too, that's kind of the end of it.
Well, this Neo Steel does something now, because they combined it with the structure armor upgrade. So at least that +2 armor.
Very true.
The additional capacity of bunkers is like basically a non usage. You know,
not.
Bunker exists to soak up 400 damage. It doesn't matter how many Marines are inside or behind. Same difference.
Yeah, quite true. It's fun, but it's also one of those upgrades that I've always felt like once you have it, it's too like.
Nope, you might cut out there. Yeah, I mean, I like to use it because I like to transport 10 SCVs and float them to another base, adding it to my command center. Yeah, you're back.
Indeed. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, let's jump into the game. I'm going to try and refresh this in the background while we do.
Eris. BenBotBC.
Okay, so we do have the barracks proxy this time. Not proxy close, but at least is not being spotted by the scouts drone that was walking all around the map for Eris. I don't think either Overlord spotted it as well. This could be interesting, actually. Both Overlords have moved out, so nothing is spotting the natural at the moment.
Indeed. And yeah, that is quite far away. That's a proxy that's more on his side of the map.
And I would imagine that barracks is done. So
yeah.
Where's the bunker? Right?
Yeah, it is weird. Was that SCV supposed to go?
Maybe he's waiting for the Marine support?
First Marine? Yeah, that's exactly it.
Interesting.
This feels like a change. I mean, it is a change. Like, this isn't how he's done it in the past. So this must be an update.
Well, that's how we saw him build the second bunker last game. We didn't really see what happened with the first one. We just saw the tail end of a bunch of drones intercepting it. This time the Overlord is close. How close is he going to build it? Okay, in range. Nope. Yes.
There we go.
Overlord will be able to make it to the pillar in time, so
not
under too much threats, but never got vision. Oh, that drone behind messed up. Okay, so no drone pull this time. Yeah, there's actually a visual glitch here. You can walk up on that pillar, but it does not give you high ground vision. That dude adds a little bit, besides it visually looking like you're on the pillar, you're not actually. Their base does get up, but once again, there's a bunker intercepting the third base from the natural. So, yeah, I guess very similar to game one. You didn't have to cancel the initial bunker, so that's probably a big deal. Although Eris didn't have to pull 7 drones either, so his economy's a little stronger. I do like how it stops the creep spread, though. That's pretty nice for this situation. Meanwhile, the wall is going up for Eris at his natural, and he should be expanding pretty soon behind that. And actually, threatening the third base with the Marine is causing Eris to try to defend, pushing through the bunker. And I think I hear Undersword breathing. Okay. He's back.
Queen stuck there with low health. Drones kind of trying to sneak through. He's got the Marauder there to support. Before, when he had 2 Marines, he would actually kind of push forward with them. The damaged one kind of sneaks through, but the other one sacrifices its life.
Yeah, Marauder will be handy too with that extra +1 range. Doesn't have the bonus damage versus a Queen, but I think with that Marine helping, Queen will go down. First Ravager is out. I'd love to see that Marauder go in the bunker. That way,
Yeah.
the Ravagers would, I think, would take a hit whenever they.
Range. He is going to fall.
Yeah. So, I'm trying to think. Siege tank factory's in the main base, right? So there's something's
Yeah,
going across.
seeing
Could be a siege
something
tank on the way.
Yeah, if he can hold out long enough to get that up,
Yeah,
definitely
he won't.
can
That's
help
4
out, but
Ravagers.
no,
Oh,
there's
once
so much to
again,
go.
so close.
Yeah.
He gets off 1 siege blast before it dies.
At least doesn't instant lose the Marines, but tries to put down another bunker. And will get cleaned up again.
Yeah. It's a little bit more Ravager damage this time, but yeah, that timing is just perfect for Eris. So against Micro Machine, I'll actually build my factory next to my proxy racks and then swap the add-on to get the siege tank out really quick. I wonder if that would be the way to go versus Eris.
Yeah,
Bunker
quite
up and the
possibly.
siege tank out there super fast.
Yeah, try and hold the position a bit more. And yeah, he killed 2 less queens this time in doing that.
No bunker even started though. This is
Yeah.
looking extremely threatening. 2 Marauders going to join in.
He also doesn't have a 3rd base this time around. Last time he did at the time that the counterattack happened.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more committed, or maybe that Eris broke out quicker this time. I'm not quite sure the differences, but SCV is not dodging those pilots like the Marauders are. So it's a good thing that he got some Ravager damage in early with a siege tank, because he's going to need every speck of DPS to even survive this scenario.
Yeah, it's so spread around this time. Like so much red and orange on these guys, but none of them
Yeah.
quite going down.
And, you can see burrowed Widow Mines, So not only does that mean Eris won't walk into them, but he also has one of the few
Okay,
units that can
yeah.
kill Widow Mines without having vision. However, Eris says, that's that. Man back home.
Yeah, tank in place. Yeah, economy. I mean, just overall, look at this: 17 workers on BenBot's side. This is
Yeah,
nowhere near
60.
the same situation we were in before. So I think Eris is going to kind of gear up for a more decisive push and go pretty soon. And BenBot's just not going to have anything to defend this time.
Yeah. Eris having triple the worker count of anyone is just basically a death sentence.
Yeah.
However, I will say, if there's one bots I would throw into a situation of trying to come back from 40 workers behind versus Eris, it would probably be BenBot. He's definitely capable of turtling up and taking some really good engagements while slowly expanding, which is kind of the mindset you have to get back into a game like this. You just got to win like 3 or 4 really good fights in a row.
Quite true. Yeah, I mean,
But
if you
yeah,
can do
17
that,
army supply.
yeah. If you can win 3 or 4 fights in a row, you're probably fine. But that's not a great starting point to be at. And in the meantime, Eris, of course, is going to take the rest of the map. Widowmine tries to get down, but killed before it does. And yeah, the mass upgrades, the production, just outstripping everything, and it's really just up to Eris on when to go at this point.
Mhm. I mean, Eris is definitely willing to be like the classic Zerg of, I'm going to crash into your front line over and over again and just beat you to death.
Yeah.
So if BenBot can get his front line up, especially if the first attack comes before he takes his 3rd, so the attack goes right into the bunkers, the siege tanks, the Widow Mines. You win that fight, then you take your 3rd, I think BenBot deserves some lucky timing at this point. Although trying to chase down a Zergling is
Yeah, that's an anti-timing move right there. that's not going to help you. Yeah, I don't even know where you would hit. Like, you'd basically need to like hit that middle right base while the entire army's on the other side, and then like do that a few more times to pull yourself back into it. Eris's bases too at this point, like once he's up to 6 or more, it's superfluous anyway. Like they're not.
Yeah. I mean, the way I envision it is he needs to stay behind his okay, sorry, it's a good message there. Yeah, the only way I could see it happening is like right before he floats out his third, he takes a big fight at his natural, totally crushes Eris with his bunker line, and then establishes the third. Because then at least he has a window while Eris is rebuilding, and then by the time Eris comes back, he's got planetary at the third, and you slowly come back and do it that way. But yeah, can you even take a third with all these annoying Zerglings blocking the position? Not only can he not catch up to his Zergling to kill it, but when he goes back home, and his army's caught away from the front line, so what little bio he does have will die off quickly. Do have a couple bunkers, only a single siege tank yet again though. Second siege tank joining in now, but a little bit late. Yeah, I was really hoping there'd be like multiple siege tanks there for a crushing win, but yeah, all that SCV losses at the start of the game just seems to be too much. Siege tanks even in range of each other, so they're both getting hit by the biles at the same time.
Yeah, tries to make the second bunker new back here, but yeah, there's just nothing. Obviously, no BCs coming to help or anything. And yeah, the time of the game, we're at like 10 minutes before. It was a little later the first time. I think it was 11 minutes that it tagged that it did the first neural on the BC last game. But yeah, this time just crashing right in.
I think your mic went out again. So I think what I'm thinking is the map where you both spawn at the top, is the rush distance is like at least 5 seconds shorter on that map. Yeah. So I'm imagining if a siege tank arrives 5 seconds sooner, that means it'll be fully sieged when the bunker's around half health, maybe denying some of those biles, maybe killing off the Ravager. But other than that, maybe I'd like to see BenBot not even try the bunker contain, as this game it definitely put him far behind, as the counterattack cannot be handled.
Is this mic much worse? I'm just going to switch to the webcam one instead of cutting out. It's not as good, but
it is.
Pretty bad. Okay.
I think we're doing well. If you cut out, I take over. You know, that's how Artosis and Basis swap. I think, right?
I'm like half watching the bar to see if my voice. All I have to do is click off of it, click back on, and it works again. But I just have to notice when I have to. I've actually never tried using the one on my headset. I don't even know if it does anything. Does this sound like anything?
That's better.
This is okay?
That's your headset?
Yeah, this is the headset one.
Yeah, that's like
okay,
90% as good as the other one.
I'll do that for now until I figure out what's going on.
It's slightly loud, I think. So if you can lower the volume a touch, you or Jack. Other than that, or just move away from your mouth, yeah. Or so. Yeah. That's probably one of those ones you can bend.
Yep.
Yeah, so game 2 down. Next one is on Site Delta.
I think it'll come down again to the potential success of this bunker intercept, and is there a good location for it?
Yeah, and the other thing is, like, if the bunker has range on the bottom of the ramp, because Site Delta has a ramp, then you won't be able to have like 6 Ravagers outside of the bunker waiting to shoot, right? They're all going to be on the same side, unless they come from the third. Could still be bad. We'll have to wait and see. BenBot, I think, did switch it up after game 1 though, because he did proxy the racks in game 2. So maybe he has a third plan for.
Possibly. Very often, if the bunker thing doesn't work, he just abandons it. So that was 2 in a row, but it was 2 kind of different ones. So, yeah. So we'll see. But yeah, could make a difference. Jumping into game number 3, will it be an Eris sweep or a BenBot comeback?
Eris. BenBotBC.
Okay, so no proxy racks this time, but we do have an SCV hanging out there, getting that bunker down, which will immediately be spotted by the third base drone of Eris, and here comes the drone pull.
Yeah.
Well, we saw this in game 1, and it still got up eventually, so.
Yeah, and it's non-aggressive to do it at the bottom like this. He's not trying to be right in his face, right at the hatchery or anything. But yeah, that's a lot of drones pulled.
Yeah, they kill one SCV, they force a bunker cancel, they kill the plan of BenBot. But yeah, 8 workers off the line this early in the game is a pretty big deal, so not sure who that helps or hurts more. This Overlord does have a pillar to go to.
Yeah, it's out in the open here. If it gets chased down, then that's a pretty good pickup. In addition to the lost mining time to get another 100 minerals there. But he just abandons it though. Okay, it does get there.
Yeah, there's a pillar. I'm pretty sure Eris has all of them mapped out for every map.
Yeah.
You just kind of look for high ground at that level that's not pathable, and that's basically a spot you can go to for the hide overlords.
So I think the 2 Marines will meet up here again with the SCV to try a bunker again.
Yeah, and the placement here will be really key. I hope he keeps it back from the ramp a fair bit. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
You want to be like the maximum range of the bunker to shoot just to the edge of the vision. And that way it makes it as hard as possible for multiple Ravagers to be shooting there.
Overlord moves forward, so he is aware of it, but obviously different reaction this time. And he hasn't overreacted to the other ones, like the second ones in the past. And we just get the Roach Warren going down, so presumably a similar response coming.
Yeah, we'll see how many Queens get baited into the bunker this time, and the creep is not connected, so that would be nice for BenBot. I suspect you're going to see the fast Ravager play yet again. And yeah, this, Roach Warren's finishing, Factory's finishing. It's going to be the race to the Siege Tank once more.
Yeah, and I wonder if he'll at all have a step on him this time in doing that. But I also don't know that any Queens are going to get in the way this time. If they're going to come down the ramp and into the bunker range.
Yeah, it's often when the Marine goes up, he'll poke at the third base, and then the Queens of the natural say, "I need to go over there and defend." And then
yeah, and because they're up a ramp, he can't even see them. So they'll poke down, but then once they go up, they're out of vision. So I don't think he's going to chase them. And there's the Ravager.
There's a chase, however, though.
Yeah, true.
2 Queens stepping up there. Okay, one that takes some hits. And just even a second SCV, any little thing just to buy time for that siege tank.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it. It's making its way across, but we're already past the halfway mark.
Yeah, I was hoping for a short rush distance map. This is a long rush distance map. I mean, maybe the only saving grace is it's so long he won't lose the siege tank.
Won't. Yeah, exactly. It's shown up each time just in time to blow up.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, first game we lost 5 Queens, second game 3 Queens, this time none. So there's nothing slowing that part of the economy down.
Yeah. But now the counterattack is going into a choke point, up a ramp. I mean, Side Delta is a really strong defensive map for 2 base.
Yeah.
Let's get that door closed immediately. Yep, very nice. Bunker loaded. I like it. Siege tank takes. Oh, wow. Yeah. I didn't know he got that many biles on the tank. Big deal. Oh, even the Overlord to give vision. Wow. Look at Eris.
Yeah,
everything.
well coordinated. This may be the quickest one. If this just goes down right away. He's already, the first game, I think he kind of got prevented from even getting to the BCs. This time he's still on the path to build them. But I think that's then consuming resources to defend right now.
Yeah. Third base is getting up for free, though. Mm-hmm. So, last couple of games, I think, actually, Eris just decided to stop attacking, even though things are going well. If he makes that decision again, and BenBot's not really taking an economic hit here. Has he lost any SCVs?
No, I think, again, the ramp saves it. He before sent out a bunch of SCVs to repair, but then they're right in front of the units. This time they're far away, so they're not dying like that.
Yeah, only lost 3 to that attack, plus the 2 he sort of lost at the start of the game. So third base gets up at a good timing. I mean, Ravagers are coming back again, but you know, now there's a siege tank. Now there's a planetary is complete as well. Even that Overlord is threatening to die. If it goes down, that's actually a big deal because that's the given the vision for the Ravager bios. However, Ravagers are vacating.
Indeed. So yeah, it does hold, and he's going to start getting the BCs out here. Like you said, has a third base up, that with a planetary already.
So economically, it's looking very similar to Game 1. So BenBot got his third base up and his saturation right as he wanted it. Meanwhile, Eris has got 4 base saturation with a 5th on the way. Little annoying Hellion. Man, there's so much harass that just doesn't work versus the Zergbot because of that burrow, man. Burrow's it's the ultimate ability in the bot meta.
Yeah,
it does so much.
Always good. Yeah.
The Terra needs a unit that can detect the entire map. That's what we need. Or we need to code ourselves better Raven control. Better scans.
Yeah, it's always like offensively it's good, defensively it's good. There's just never a reason to not get the burrow. Basically, it seems to always pay itself off.
Although I will say, both in my human play and in bot play, I like to go mass Raven. And in both situations, I've seen people try to burrow drones when I send 15 Ravens into their base. Like, yeah, I got a slight amount of detection. I can deal with that burrow.
Yeah, overall supply not too bad this time around. Yeah, workers like we're pretty much at the level we want. Like to see BenBot, expand to there or somewhere else. I guess we'll get the high one. That probably makes more sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. It was around, pretty soon. I think we're gonna get the Eris push out because he may not swing up to the 4th like that. It may come to the natural 3rd. And given that there's a planetary there, that may already work. That may work better. But BenBot is as well.
Yeah, I think that 4th base is going to go completely unspotted, so that's nice for BenBot. It's a little push out here. He's not the end of the world if he loses the squad, as long as he keeps the Ravens and the BC alive. It's just a handful of Marauders. They might be losing some of their value at this point anyways.
And he's going to back up here. The army of Eris is streaming towards the top. It actually is making a beeline right.
Oh, he does know about it. I guess the Zergling or something spotted it. Okay, Planetary is up though, and his army's not too far away, so I'd like to see some...
Start off.
Yeah, auto turret's going down, SCV repair, very nice. Yeah, this is ideal for BenBot. If he's going to hold, this is the way he'll do it. Siege tank is even on the high ground and getting repaired. That's nice. So this is going to be a holdout of BenBot. Still not losing a lot of units. He's able to keep those roaches alive quite well. They're taking the brunt of the hits, then falling back and burrowing to regenerate.
Yeah,
and now some Hydras are going down as well. Siege tanking a lot of free damage.
The infestors in the back there were throwing some fungals down the SCVs, and we're able to take a lot out too, but he's still not going to be able to actually break this.
Yeah.
5 SCVs died.
But losing SCVs at this point in the game is not a big deal. You can build them 5 at a time, so it's mostly just the 50 mineral cost. It's not like it's destroying the economy, like if you lost 25 workers at the start of the game.
There, tank coming forward to reinforce the planetary. Needs another Raven here to clear it up, but he's not in threat until the second wave. But I think with the 2 BCs on this side, does he have Neural yet? It doesn't appear so.
No. Got a nice fungal, however, off on the siege tank and all the repairing SCVs, which means there's not that many SCVs left to repair the planetary. There's the Neuro.
There's another.
The BCs are going down. Yeah, not actually even any good Yamato targets for these BCs. Hydras are not... They're not good at fighting BCs, but they're also cheap units, so you don't want to waste the Yamato on them. I'd almost want a Yamato like the Overseer or something. It's hard to choose something.
Probably,
obviously the Infestor would be nice.
Yeah, we'll lose the planetary here, even though a couple repairing yet has taken out second one here, but I think you really get that base to stay up, although he does have another one down on the bottom now. But
yeah, economically, I think he's fine. The biggest issue I have is that he's not trading super efficiently. And if you're going to be this many bases behind, and you know, against Hydras, it shouldn't be too hard to be efficient. But maybe he is being efficient. I take that back. He's up, yeah, 4,000. It's not that. It's not bad. I guess just now I saw the BCs going down to the Ravager play. That seemed pretty strong. Well, there's that Creep Tumor Dropper Lord. As you can see, the Creep Tumor in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, we got a Burrowed Ling here too, preventing this one.
Yep, and there's soon going to be creep blocking it as well.
Yeah.
Although that missile turret getting up would help clear it out. Yeah, and now the both expansion bases blocked by Zerglings, and it's like, will your bot actually try to clear that up while you're getting attacked nonstop?
Yeah, that's the big thing. Like having these kind of special projects when, you're under assault the whole time.
Yeah. Plus you got a Zergling poking at the front. Plus you got an Overlord hanging out behind your base. It's like, it's hard to teach your bot to like not send everything to like one unit and to keep their priorities straight.
That will die in the sky, and BC just not like, there's just nothing to support it. One, there's nothing to save them from the infestors in the first place, but even if those weren't there at all, a whole bunch of Hydra is just gonna rip through everything. Nice fungals on the army there.
Yeah, I mean, classically, this is not something that should do well versus tank planetary BC.
Yeah.
You really want corruptors for BCs. You really want, you know, lurkers with their Hydras lists and stuff.
Yeah, just kind of doing it on pure volume. He's just taking the shots but tanking them, and the supply is barely falling in the background at all. Yeah, 92 Hydra. Like, if you tell most people 92 Hydras were lost in the game, then you assume that that guy lost. But here it's fine.
One surprising thing is it looks like almost like a downgrade out of Eris. He used to be really good at just killing all the repairing SCVs very quickly.
Yeah.
Now he's just fighting the planetary and letting the SCVs survive and repair it. Because you could trade all those Hydras for all the SCVs, and when you're this far ahead, that's really good. Is that they'll actually hamper the economy.
It almost seems maybe deliberate too, because some of them have been close enough that it should just prioritize them. So it's like it's target firing on purpose.
Yeah, it does seem to target the SCVs when they're close enough, but they're not like walking forward actually.
Yeah, to get them.
Yeah, he does fungal the SCVs, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I guess probably because you can't fungal planetary, so you don't have no other choice but to target the SCVs. But yeah, looks like it's gonna be a quick 3-0 here out there. So, I mean, as quick as you can be against BenBots, who's a defensive stud.
Indeed. On tanks up front, saving some time.
Even the tanks on the wrong side of the wall.
Yeah. And Ling's triggering the Widow Mines there as well. We'll speed up now as the Hydras go after this PF again. Maybe enough repair to hold for the moment.
It's hilarious how like Eris isn't even banking any resources this late into the game. He's just like, I refuse to hit 200. If I hit 200, that means I'm not attacking enough. Yeah. I gotta be attacking more. That's the ideal way for Zerg to play. You know, go to 110 drones and still never get a bank just because you're going like crazy on the attacks. You know, like that swarmy play.
Yeah, definitely not even really trying to be cost efficient here. Yeah, just letting these SCVs in the back take control. The infestors aren't moving forward enough to fungal them. Because they could clean this up.
Yeah, maybe a little bit afraid of stepping into PF range.
Yeah, the tank there in the back too.
That also means they have plenty of energy to deal with any BC that BenBot would happen to squeeze out if he could still afford one. Siege tank behind the planetary this time. That's a nice spot for it.
Yeah.
We already seen that the Hydras will refuse to step up, so that tank is probably going to, you know, kill off 10, 20 Hydras before it does.
The PF itself has 127 kills.
Yeah, there we go. Now the SCVs are falling between the fungals and the Zerglings that arrived.
Yeah, they're the other side. Yeah, I think with the tank on, they're willing to step in to fire those shots, but they weren't getting close enough before. Now they'll just kind of leave this one.
I mean, technically, BenBot's taking his 4th base too.
Yeah, yeah.
This game is like 100% over, but it might not be over for another 5-10 minutes just because
Yeah.
of the economy that BenBot's able to hold. He's affording just enough to keep making SCVs to repair PFs.
Yeah.
And squeeze out like a siege tank here and there. Okay, there goes that one.
It does fall.
He doesn't have 5 bases. The minimap makes it look like he kind of does, but
Yeah, but it's just floating.
yeah. Those SCVs can like huck the mineral patches into the command center.
Yeah, we'll break the front wall here now and get on top of everything.
Yep, 4th base still giving a little bit of economy, but it's just enough to afford SCVs to pop out and die.
Yeah.
You know, Marine here and there. And yeah, Eris is going to the finals as a surprise to no one, but
Yeah.
I think he's facing, like, if you think of bots that have a chance to beat Eris, right? It'd be like a bot that's like really complex and really getting strong, or a bot that's just like
Super
like
simple,
insanely
yeah.
all in, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And we got both of those as opportunities to face Eris in the finals, so. Out Erising Eris is something, you know, maybe -0 could do back in the day, maybe Micro Machine back in the day, but that's about it.
Weird behavior here yet again. I don't know what exactly is prompting this. Like, he's indecisive on what to do.
Yeah, it could be like I'm directly between 2 different things I want to attack,
Yeah.
so I'll just take both commands.
Oh.
Let me expand in the middle of my army as well.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. Something pulled him over.
Yeah. Creep tumor in the main base of BenBot.
Yep. Always a good sign. We'll get it. The CC.
Re-expanding back to his home base. I love it.
Once that cleared up, he's like, "Oh, there's a spot." Yeah.
That is good logic, though. He's not
Yeah.
hard-coded to the one location.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Well, I mean, well done by BenBots. It's hard to look good against Eris, so that's about as best as you can typically expect.
Yeah. Yeah, just never really got going, and I think just the way that he builds like into the BC and stuff. Again, it feels like the combination of like tanks and stuff should do well, and I don't even feel efficiency-wise that it didn't. It was fine, but it just isn't enough to push forward or anything. And Eris's economy is so good that it just replaces everything, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Maybe the bio doesn't really have a place of this, you know,
Yeah.
because I don't think he had stim and I don't think he had medevac, so I'd prefer to
No.
see like that. You know, instead of Marauders, maybe just more tanks, maybe a second factory.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah,
like
really,
Benbot
you know,
doesn't even have medevac code in it at all. I don't know if he makes them.
Yeah. Really step into that like turtle mech style. If you're gonna go for a go all the way into it, just so you can crush when Eris attacks.
Indeed. So yeah, decent one, but 3-0. I feel like it wasn't as imbalanced as that would indicate, but still pretty dominant from Eris
Yeah.
there anyway. Yeah, the actual outcome was never really in any doubt, but BenBot did okay there. Starting off all right a few times, but yeah, just couldn't get anything. I think just the fundamental strategy behind that wasn't ever going to work. Like, there was no amount of BC that wasn't going to end up knurled and killed.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I don't even know how you would code that logic,
Yeah.
but you got to identify when the investors are out there, and you got to be more defensive.
Yeah.
BC should be hanging back, only really joining the fight when when the planetaries are under attack.
Yeah, it's a tough
And then you
one.
got to Yamato the investors before they
Get that
before
off.
they head on you. And you have time too. Like if they launch neural parasites on you, and then you Yamato afterwards, that Yamato will actually get off.
Yeah,
So you'll kill the investor that's taking control of you.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
indeed.
But yeah,
it
you
is.
just can't afford to lose them against this like an economy like Eris. You need to be building up like 4 BCs, 5, 6, 7, like get growing that number, not just losing them as they build.
Yeah.
And it's easier said than done because Eris is very strong, even with his late game units.
Yep, very, very much so. And we never quite see Eris get to its true late game of like Broodlords and stuff. And it a few times there it started to build Vipers, but we didn't really even see them get used. But it does have that as well. But people usually don't quite survive that long for us to start seeing them.
There was it wasn't ProBots, it was an SC2AI tournament where my bot actually beat Eris in the finals with battle cruisers.
Yeah.
So Eris, who never
Possible.
loses to anything, probably saw that and was like, "Oh yes, finally something to work on. Now I'm going to be like the battle cruise destroyer."
Yeah.
And like he doesn't lose in my BCs anymore, and that probably makes him especially strong versus BenBot as well.
Makes sense. So BenBot can blame you.
Yeah.
For this treatment.
Yeah. I'm blaming Tira for why Eris is better against ghosts now as well.
Exactly.
Whoever does something that works versus Eris is not going to work for long.
True enough. So yeah, congrats to Eris going on to the finals, and we can move on to match 2. So we usually take a break halfway. I don't know if we are tonight. We probably don't need to. Since okay, we will take a quick break then between this, and then come back with our second semifinal. So don't go anywhere. It's a good time to go to ProBotsAI.com and click around, look at things, support things, join clubs and stuff, and whatever it is, and AIarena.net as well to check out the ladder and so on. But we'll be back in a few minutes. He's not in the scene. Draken is in the scene, but that's okay. Instead of Draken, we have bots. And we're going to have Xena up against 12 Pool Bot. And I don't know how short to put. What would you say the over-under is on the total time in the series? Oh, there's Drac.
Yeah, there it is. I'm brought back.
I'll take the over, whatever it is. I don't think this will be a 3-0.
No, I don't think
Xena's playing random.
3-0.
He has to be vulnerable to one of those rushes with one of those races, a minimum. If not 12 Pool winning the series, so who knows?
I mean, even though it was a 3-0 last game, I think it was a fairly, especially in the first game, it was a fairly well fought 3-0. I feel like if anyone was going to, I felt like it was a very clever response from BenBot against Eris, but Eris, as always, has a strong reaction to whatever people throw at him. So, I like 12 Pool Bot has successfully defeated Eris, so I wonder if we see 12 Pool Bot Eris finals, will we see a repeat of the group stage, or if Eris has patched his 12 Pool Bot weak point?
Good question.
All of them. Good. So either which way, for your guys, in terms of predictions for, let's even go 2 steps ahead. We say, who would have it from this next game coming up, what do you foresee occurring? And then what kind of finals would you end up seeing if we take 2 steps ahead?
I'm kind of foreseeing, so I think it's going to depend a little on Xena's races. So like what gets rolled here. And you could see 2 things. Something I don't think we've seen tested is 12 Pool Bot starts with the 12 Pool. Once it loses, switches to the Roach Rush. We haven't seen what would happen. Like, will it go back to a 12 Pool if it's a different race? And I don't know that it would. Like, would it try that again as the opener, or would it stick to the Roach Rush? And then Xena, we've now seen a history of cheesy openings, and we've also seen Xena play like a BenBot style macro game. So I don't know what Xena's going to do either. But I think if I have to predict the winner, I think Xena is going to, just on the adaptability. If 12 Pool Bot happens to work in one game, it just may not work against the other race or another build or whatever.
Rock, what do you think? What does 12 Pool Bot have to do right to be able to beat Xena this game, to be able to go to the finals?
just do what he does, and then hope Xena does something wrong. Because Xena's got to deal with 9 matchups, and there's definitely builds and races that Xena has that are going to die to 12 Bot, like for sure. They must exist. There's no way Xena's that fleshed out. So otherwise,
Is that what you believe, or is that what you hope?
that's what I believe. I don't think this is going to be a 3-0 for Xena. Obviously, I'm cheering for Xena because I think if someone told me a year from now Xena is going to be ahead of Eris on the ladder, I would believe it. He's one of those bots that has that capability, where 12 bots, his selling point is that he's only like 300 lines of code. So, so that's it's really cool for being such a small like compact bot. But yeah, I don't see Eris falling to 12 bots. However, I do see Xena possibly falling to 12 bots. So this series will be interesting for me.
Well, Eris has already fallen to 12 pool bot, so I think.
Has he? Okay. Well, there you go.
So Eris has already fallen to 12. It's actually the only loss Eris has received this entire. I don't know if he even just. No, has he lost one game? No, he lost one game to tier. So, the only full loss that Eris has received is from 12 pool bot. So, there might be something said to the simplicity of 12 pool bot. Maybe there is a case to be made that even the more complex, and I brought this up back to harkening back to DimitriBot, where the simplest answer might be the right answer in many ways. So there's something might be said by 12 Bot. What is the right answer though for all you out there is to hit that subscribe button. So if you haven't done that already, hit that. I think I looked up, you guys, it was like 40% of you watching here on ProBots are subscribed. So that's good, but it can be better, right? We can, don't you want to know what's going on? Aren't you all entertained? Don't you guys have phones? Either way.
No, yeah, it's worth subscribing because these ProBots you don't just start the stream. You have them scheduled, which is nice. So you see it pop up on your notifications. Like, oh, ProBots is tomorrow, and then when you go to your home screen in YouTube, you can like see it there. It's handy. Cool. So if you don't want to miss it,
I mean, someone in a game I just played just messaged me that they just subscribed. So thanks, Wasp.
Wait, were you playing? Wait, did you tell them you were going to go play like hot? Oh,
yeah, I literally before we started stream, I was talking to them and I said I got to go do this YouTube thing, and I linked it, and so he checked it out while we've been in.
Okay, I thought he like started to stalk you, and he was like, you were playing a pub, and he's like, to follow you where you were going. I was like, but hear that? If some random person in Enderscore's game can subscribe, there's absolutely no reason why you can't subscribe. But even so, after ProBot season, we're going to be, as well, obviously, we have the finals here on Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern. So the scheduled stream is already here. So if you subscribe, it'll show up. If not, you can go to the channel's homepage here on YouTube. You can see it right away. Hit remind me. I think that's actually a really interesting feature, to hit the remind me so that it will actually notify you on your phone with the final, so you don't have to try to remember to show up. It'll let you know. That's pretty cool. And absolutely. And then play against the bots. Let me give you that exclamation mark play. I need Joe's replays. If you want to see how strong these bots are, you've been watching them all this time, and you're like, hey, I could probably beat Micro Machine, or I could beat Eris. Well, you probably can't, but maybe you could. If you could, here it is. I just threw it in the chat, and I'll throw it in the I want to say the description of this video when you get a chance to play against the bots. Throw us our replays. We're only accepting replays until tomorrow, so tomorrow is the last time to send replays, because we got to watch them all and suss out all the terrible ones. But
I'm gonna make someone do it. I believe a pro player is visiting tomorrow. I'm gonna make him do it.
Ooh, which pro player? Is it a secret pro player, or
it's a 2-time GSL Code S player?
Oh no!
No! You know who it is.
I know who it is.
He's not that different from 12 Bot.
I get. Yes. Well, whatever. If he plays, he plays.
I regret not knowing who this is.
I know.
Yeah.
That's my only regret.
My only regret. All the regrets. Either which way, yeah. If mysterious GSL player will be playing the bots, there's no reason why you won't play the bots. And then before we even get into all that, !join ProBotsAI.com. You can get like a template there if you want to get started and make your own bot. And you can join up with our membership. On Mondays, we do a mob programming, and then at the end of the month, we do post bots where we get together and show and talk about some of the stuff we're working on. Next month, we will have T-Bone's author. And this month, we will... I know Ketrock will show us something. I don't know what it was. He'll come up with something cool and magical. Either which way, it's worth being there. So, yeah, absolutely. So I feel like I've hit all the markers. Don't forget to hit the like buttons, but I see only 10, and there are a lot of you out there. But yeah, let's get into the next half of our show. Production.
We'll just start talking. So yeah, moving on to match 2, as we mentioned, is going to be Xena versus 12 ProBot. If we can take a look at their little stat rundowns. Xena, of course, being the random one, coded in Haskell.
Yeah.
And
to answer your question earlier, I was thinking 12 ProBot probably won't even know what race he's up against until he's already committed to the cheese,
Probably true.
He needs to decide really early what he's doing.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing it won't be race specific, his strategy selection. No weaknesses. Oh, nice.
No weaknesses at all. Yeah, advanced resource management system. Yeah. Good build orders, good adaptability, whatever. And yeah, and Xena is indeed built completely from scratch. I think the only bot we have in Haskell. And yeah, it's Xena is a strong, independent princess.
Yeah, we did a post bots once on his build orders, and it's really cool because it doesn't actually do like what you would think of as a build order. It just kind of has like priorities, and like it weights these priorities and kind of hits them that way. So it's much more fluid. So if it gets interrupted early on, I think he'll be able to like adjust to it much easier than say other bots that have more hard-coded build orders.
Yeah, not as many like preconceived notions. Yeah, so 12 pool bot also only really talks in this about the 12 pool part of it, but of course the roach rush has been the more successful one, but it tends to have to lose with the 12 pool before switching to that. Yeah, use a slightly different pathfinding than the rest of the bots.
It's kind of cool that it uses pathfinding at all. You think of
exactly.
You think of pathfinding as a very advanced feature, and then he 12 pools. So 12 pool. But I think we've seen that before, where like he lost against Tyr, but he was able to like path around Tyr's army and like hit the second base or something.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, you can almost see in the movement, it's a very like swarmy type movements. Like you'll get some lings moving forward, some moving back at the same time. And 12 pool bot does veto a couple of maps, whereas Xena does not. So we'll basically get the 5 remaining ones, I guess.
Yeah, I think that worked out for him. I think I saw Equilibrium as game 3, so that's the shortest rush distance map, and I would assume short rush distance should favor 12 pool bots.
Yeah.
Although Xena's kind of cheesy himself, or herself, so who knows?
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. We're going to be starting on site in Delta, and pretty fair one overall. Like no super strong features one other that would really be decisive.
Yeah.
But the ramp up, like I think that's pretty.
It is a long rush distance too on this map. It's probably the best map we have for defending a cheese.
Yeah.
Especially if you want to do a fast expand, because it has that ramp and choke point at the natural.
Yeah.
But if you're going a fast expand, you're probably dying to 12 pool bot anyway, so
anyway.
It doesn't really matter. It's more the long rush distance, I think that'll be an advantage to the defender.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so that could be, and again, if this is how 12 pool bot has worked in the past, we're going to get the 12 pool on the first mat. If he wins, that will continue. If not, we'll probably get, you seem to then get the roach rush from then on, whether or not it wins or loses. So
Hmm.
we'll find out shortly. Although I guess I'm trying to think, are there cases, usually if you lose with the 12, you lose with the roach, then you're already done the series.
Yeah.
So in this one would be the first time he could lose with both, but still continue.
Drone rush afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. Just switch to something else. So we're hopping in here now to game number 1 of this second best of 5.
Xena. Pool bot.
Yeah, so looking at the worker count, that is definitely a 12 pool, living up to its name. Xena said safe proxy gates, which is...
Yeah,
I know what those words mean, but you put them together and I can't envision it.
exactly.
Like, there's nothing safe about building a proxy gate, so...
It looks like, I guess the safe part is that it's not a proxy gate,
Yeah.
that it's just that it's his own ramp. So yeah, we'll see, and it's even going to be a non-proxy 2 gate.
I always confuse the casters too, because all my builds that aren't a fast expand, I call them one base.
Yeah.
So I'll be like one base cyclone, and they're like, why is he building
Yeah,
an expansion? It's like,
yeah. Like, well,
like,
at one point I had 1 base.
that's true. I didn't immediately go to 2 bases.
Yeah.
All right, here comes the Lynx. First set of 6 on the way. Not a tight wall. Now there is one as the cyber core gets put down. So
Yeah.
he does need to
But he
get
hasn't
something in that
started.
wall. No,
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
going
He
to wait
hasn't
for the
started.
cyber core before building his first units. That could be trouble. Well, actually, what are we even looking here? Is this 3 gate?
Yep. 3 gate cyber. The probe may go C, but it's a little too late to start now.
Yeah, you can't even afford 3 gates this quickly, I feel
Yeah.
like.
Now, if he distracts, that's helpful. This entire thing is on 1 pylon.
Oh, that's huge. That's 4 Lynx chasing a
Yeah.
probe. And the probe looks like it has some pretty good padding on its own.
All right, double stalker is starting. Again, the one vulnerable pylon here can take this entire thing out. But
And yeah, it's soccer, not adept. So the battery will help quite a bit. We've seen this in the past though, where you build the battery and then you kite backwards away from the battery
Yeah.
because you have a ranged unit, so the battery never even pitches in. But yeah, this game would basically be over, but he's staying at the wall. I guess taking on the cyber core is actually a pretty big deal, especially if Xena's not capable of building zealots.
yeah, the speed isn't quite there yet. If the speed was out already, I mean, it's early enough, but he could have just jumped right on those. He will chase, weirdly, 1 probe, though. And he was able to at least start the second round of stalkers before the cyber died.
And he's
so
able
he
to
will.
build zealots once the cyber's down as well, which is, and honestly, a couple zealots with stalkers is
Maybe
probably
better.
better than 6 stalkers anyways. But I do like this. He's able to kite backwards. When he gets into his main base, he fights with probes,
Yeah.
which is nice logic to have. Back in the day, bots used to lose their entire army, and then they would fight with all their workers and lose all their workers.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see a bot that's capable of fighting with their army and probes at the same time. Although, you know, if he faces too many Lings out here, he might find himself getting surrounded. I'd like him to kite maybe a little bit further back towards his pylon or his battery.
Yeah, I think there comes a point. I think the ramp is going to play a factor here in terms of 12 pool bot not knowing what's necessarily up there.
Mhm.
Could be hesitant.
Oh, and he's bleeding a little bit of Zerglings. The Zergling count's still growing, but not as fast as he would like. And now there's 4 Zealots and 5 Stalkers. It's just way too much. Maybe if Xena moves out and he gets a nice big surround and he doesn't bleed any Zerglings in the meantime, but he's bleeding Zerglings, so
Yeah, he's spending too much time chilling right at the bottom of the ramp and taking a few hits. Um, and yeah, Xena would have to just move out and get completely caught in any sort of choke he's going in.
Yeah, too bad for Topo, but I mean, he had everything he needed to win this game. He chased the probe, but then he attacked the cyber core during then he ran out of time afterwards. If he just got in there, started fighting those probes before the stalkers are out.
Yeah, exactly. Mineral line or just the pylon, since it was the only pylon. Being able to recognize that would help. Little time jump.
A little rewind, yeah. I mean, at this point in time, he's not taking shots from the stalkers, which is nice.
Yeah.
Because if he does have any chance, it's building up a whole bunch of Zerglings and getting a big surround. So, you know, if he's not bleeding Zerglings, he has the capability of building up a large amount. But now he's stepped forward too much.
Yeah, and we've seen this in the past too, that it does this little run around at the bottom of the ramp because it can't actually see what's up there. Now trying to go for a bold move, but does this a bit too, where it kind of goes but then doesn't go, and it's worse than just not doing anything in the first place.
And kudos to Xena too for not running out there to where he could lose the game. He's staying nice and safe at the top of his ramp and then right near that shield battery. Losing a cyber core might have been a blessing in disguise. I mean,
yeah,
because he's got a nice large Zealot count now, which I actually like with the Stalkers more than pure Stalker. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe in the hands of bots, the pure Stalker would be better. I feel like that's the one way to lose the Zerglings. The Zerglings are so good versus Stalkers, especially if they're capable of surrounding.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a good insurance for, like, if you get caught somewhere, having the Zealots mixed in helps a ton. If you're purely mobile, then yeah, obviously the Stalkers are fine.
Yeah. I don't know how active the author is of Tofu bot, but if he could just switch up that code to like the Zerglings hang back, but they hang back in attack range. They need to hang back further, you know?
Yeah.
Just at the edge of vision range, you know? You're much faster than the Stalkers, so you can see the Stalkers and never take damage from them if it's coded correctly. Because he's lost maybe, what, 40 Zerglings for free? Like, just for that poking? Imagine he still had those 40 lings. You'd just be all over these Stalkers. Yeah, unfortunately now he's kind of retreated as far back as he goes. His logic tells him that he shouldn't be engaging. And that means he's just not going to do anything. Yeah, well done by Xena. I love the patience. I love the decision of when he did move out. He had a clearly a much stronger army at that point in the game.
Yeah, definitely. So we're probably going to get this build then abandoned by 12 pool, and we'll see how Roach is doing the next. You can see that 12 pool bot does expand, but doesn't really mine much. There's an occasional drone that will end up on the new ones as the old patches wear out, but it doesn't, like, you know, build additional workers. It's purely for larva, basically.
Yeah. Does he inject? I didn't even notice.
I don't even know if it.
If he doesn't, he would definitely
or
start
anything
pooling
like that.
resources.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, like in that initial phase, if they could just get past that first thing, go after the pylon, then everything's just shut down. Or like you said, go right to the line, ignore the entire thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to win that. There's 3 gateways and no units when he arrived, so there's so much you could do at that point. Although with really good micro, workers actually slaughter
Decent, yeah.
links, because bots have the ability to like mineral walk and stack their I've seen situations where like lings get destroyed by workers, which would never happen in a human game.
So there you go. So we don't know. A lot is going to depend on what race Xena ends up going with and what her build order is going to be. But we're going to hop onto Golden Aura next. This one doesn't have the same sort of ramp up to the natural thing, but we're going to get a different build anyway. But I think it could be decent for the Roach Rush.
Yeah, yeah. In terms of rush distance too, game 1 is the worst. Game 2 is average.
Yeah.
Game 3 will be very short rush distance. So it's getting better and better for the cheesy bot.
Indeed.
So
Which is both of them sometimes.
Yep.
But Xena has the macro options too. So let's hop into game number 2.
Xena. ProBots.
yeah, so it's looking like Xena's he's got some good build selection versus 12 bot. I saw it say like mass marines and proxy turned off. And like, yeah, that would be the 12 -0.
Okay. That's that's interesting. Then that may do the same thing.
Yeah, I did take a look at the worker count. He usually builds a few more workers
maybe.
before.
He didn't take a
Sorry, no,
gas, so
no.
this isn't the same. Yeah, he must. I think he usually times it out. There's the gas now. He may just put the roach warren down, because that may have been a 14.
Yeah, I didn't quite catch it.
Yeah.
You don't need a gas early with either build. I mean, I guess it depends
Yeah.
how much you prioritize speed.
I think he just. Yeah, I don't know that you need it. I think this is usually what he does.
Mhm.
Like.
And then Roach Warren doesn't
Sorry,
cost
yeah.
any gas at all, so
Yeah. Okay.
even though
So
roaches
couple
cost gas,
lanes.
you don't need a gas geyser very early for a roach rush.
All right, it is Ling, but he's also getting a hatchery. I don't think he usually does that this early. There's the roach warren.
Yeah, just 2 lings as well. Oh, just a scout. Which is handy. You'll be able to figure out what race he's up against.
And
Full
this
robot
could be
Eris.
recent. So Xena did itself announce Mass Marine.
Mhm.
So Mass Roach versus Mass Marine, not necessarily bad.
Yeah, I mean, depends on detection and if there's burrow play too. That can make a lot of difference.
Xena also announcing attacking the main with 3 supply. Not usually something people do, but might as well.
Is that all barracks behind the mineral line there? That's a 5 racks?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, will he get to the roach burrow play is the question. The roaches are on the way out, which is nice.
Yeah.
They'll definitely work well with the defender's advantage.
Yeah, and we haven't really seen 12 Poolbot be the one that's like early defensive. So yeah, as these come out, are they gonna push it back? Will obviously with just 3 Marines.
Yeah.
But then he's gonna kind of go on the offensive. I don't think he's got like defensive. Is blood.
Yeah, he's definitely streaming across the map. That's not going to work versus these roaches. Though the roaches are getting low. Is there any ability to hold them back? We've seen some micro tutorials from Xena on voice bots. If nothing else, like he does a lot of things really cool, but the one thing he definitely does is he focus fires the weak units. So those roaches that are low are going to die.
Does
Oh,
lose
that's a
one
retreat.
there, but I mean, okay, yeah. Yeah, I did take out the one injured one, but I mean that was like 11 Marines to get that one.
Yeah, well, he's taking I think 3 roaches now. But yeah, there's more roaches than our lings marines, so this is really bad. SCVs are coming to repair or to fight? Repair.
Repair, but then that's potentially going to get them killed, especially since the Marines won't really fight that much.
Oh, and the ling flood that follows, I love it. That's exactly what you want in this situation. Roaches are moving up. Okay, the lings died really quick.
Yeah, it did clean them up. I mean, there's a lot of Marines there. Like, no joke. These stances, both of them obviously low workers, but because 12 pool bots technically includes an expansion, even though he's not like droning it. If you just end up in a stalemate, constantly dying to each other situation, it could be just down to who loses all their minerals first.
Yeah, but unfortunately we're going to the part where ProBots decides it doesn't have enough to fight, and we know how it likes to hang out and get picked away when
Yeah.
it doesn't want to fight. I wish it stayed back further, but yeah, he's just taking little pot shots here and there on the lings.
Yeah, and it feels
look-
stuck on this ling mode.
Yeah, he's not
Uh,
building any more roaches either,
yeah.
so that's going to be pure Zerwing
Yeah,
from this
and
point.
if you're gonna go lings, exactly, they have to just go.
Yeah, well, I mean, staying back and pulling up is fine too, but don't take shots as you're doing it.
Yeah, just chilling on the edge here. Like when they feint forward, they have to either go or not go. They can't
Yeah.
go on retreat and go on retreat. You're just losing them.
Oh well. Yeah, like it feels like 12 Bot is capable of winning these matches. It's just he falls into a little pattern which is not
He's
great.
pulled totally off gas too, so it's not even just that he's deciding not to. He's not mining the gas.
Yeah.
Continuing to make roach.
Yeah, the build I'm okay with. Like he makes a pile of roaches. He gets just enough gas for Zergling speed, and then kinds of just using the Zergling.
Yeah, so the Marines overwhelmed now. Yeah, it's, it feels like he may have had the material to win that, but yeah, it's just the behavior.
And it's not a burrow roach play, it's just a roach rush. I wasn't sure about that. Because I felt like, okay, how is he going to detect? Like, if he gets burrow done, I thought he'd just have like infinitely unkillable roaches, but
Yeah, I think we'd seen this before too. It's a roach rush, but it's specifically a 7 roach rush. Like, and then that's it forever. Like 7 roaches, then we're back to lings, and that's it.
it does make for a strong timing though. Because like you got your 7 roaches, and then right as they're like breaking into the enemy base, a whole flood of lings comes. Like if you
Yeah.
get that timing to work out right, it could be really strong. I thought we were about to see it there, but
Yeah,
it
it
just got
definitely-
evaporated.
Yeah, it broke down the depot and everything as it was supposed to, but there was just a little too much.
Yeah. Yeah, Xena did a little bit better job of deciding it couldn't win the fight and pulling back. So it actually retained its marine count as it pulled back, which is nice.
Indeed. So yeah, this one then is the closer rush distance, so this may play into its hands a little more, but I guess we're going to see what race Xena gets again, and is Xena going to be the one that's aggressive? It almost feels like in that one, Xena being aggressive gave 12 Pool Bot initially a lot of kills for free, or close to free by the time you get across, but and it worked maybe in his favor, but then you get to the wall and there's just too much there.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. I mean, it'd be nice for Xena to get Zerg and fill out the collection, and then we get to see one of each. But yeah, let's hop on. Close rush distance. Let's see what happens.
Xena. Twelve toolbots.
And we are back to this was legitimately a 12 pool.
hmm
And you see, it does take that gas like fairly early.
Yeah, so this feels like best case scenario for Bot.
Yeah.
Shortest rush distance. He's up against Protoss again. Game 1 it looked like he had plenty of opportunity to win. And I think Xena even went gas before Pylon, so the gateways are delayed. If he does the same thing with like 3 gateways, no units, it's gonna be rough.
Yeah,
It's a
definitely
Zergling's building.
different. Yeah, so it's possible then that 12 pool bot literally just flips between worlds whenever it loses. Just goes back to the other one. And yeah, that may work out well here. First across. And is that, so yeah, there should be a cyber here.
Oh, you know what? This is not the map I thought it was. I'm not sure if this is a short rush distance or not.
It's pretty short. I remember looking them up before. I think it's still tied for the shortest. It's like a 32 second or whatever.
Because in the current map pool on BattleNet, there's one where you both spawn in the top, but it's a different map than this one, so I got those confused.
Okay.
Okay, now will they get distracted by the probe or will he run in? That's question number
So
one.
yeah, that's big. Early rush defense is called there. All of them going after this probe.
It's probably better than splitting. Last time he split too often.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so bad though. Oh.
Yeah, the best case would be not doing this at all.
Yeah, 3 stalkers are on the way now and he's running out of time. That's
Yeah.
too bad.
Because yeah, I think you could have overwhelmed. Like with all of these, I think it just overwhelms it. He had more time.
Okay, I think it just went down. Reinforcements arrived.
Yeah.
And then those 6-lings are not chasing anymore, so everything's gonna get in here. But
All right.
yeah, the battery's still full power, huh? Is that battery? I guess the battery was in range of the Nexus, so it started with full energy. The only good thing though for ProBot is that the battery immediately refilled all the shields on the gateway, so
Yeah.
the battery's drained right now.
Drained it. Yeah. I think it'll be a bit like, does he ever push in?
It's got
Or
speed.
does it just go up and
Mm,
and immediately get shot and pull back? Yeah, because that's just too many. Like if they're, is he just gonna lose the same sort of like losing 1 or 2?
Yeah, this is going to be tough for ProBot now. We know Xena is very patient in this position, which is really good. And we know ProBot bleeds units a little bit in this position, although he's done a good job so far of staying out of the stalker range.
Yeah, there's no like second ramp this time, which there was in the first game, so he can see better.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so
Also, he didn't, to your point of the zealots, he didn't lose the cyber core this time, so he's not making any zealots.
mhm.
All can be stalker. But yeah, now he's playing this hop into range game.
Yeah.
And die.
Yeah, not too much though. Okay, now he's getting hit a
Not
little
as
bit.
bad. Yeah.
Like basically the win condition is he needs to get up to like 60 Zerglings.
Yeah.
And then catch these stalkers out in the open. Because Zerglings absolutely wreck stalkers if they get us around. But if the stalkers are able to just keep kiting backwards, especially in kite backwards to their shield battery, it's no good. And then he's not getting up to 60 Zerglings either because he's getting poked away to death. Yeah. I was really thinking 12 bot would have taken one, especially against a random bot. It's so hard to. That'd be so secure. I feel like Xena has like pre-picked builds though against cheesy bots, and these are good builds he picked for the most part. And the stalkers are kind of getting to the point where like, can you even surround them at this point? There's so many of them. Now you'd probably need like 120 Zerglings to get a good surround because there's like what 15 plus stalkers.
Yeah.
Army supply is 36, so that's
Yeah, so
18 stalkers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think he's just going to get pushed back and get this thing where it dances in its natural
Mhm.
a bit. And that may be it.
Yeah. Well, technically, Xena had a faster 3-0 than Eris. So does that make him the favorite for the finals? Or?
Clearly, that's how it works. by the transitive property. As here, and again, even at this point, the wings don't have a command to attack, even though they don't fall back anymore. Will. Yep.
Yeah, even my bot's that way. If you can push my bot all the way back to my main base mineral line, I don't retreat anymore.
Yeah, there's no like last stand. No. Like
My
because
thought
I
process
feel-
is if I could push back that far, I probably already lost
Yeah,
the
yeah,
game
it's
anyway,
lost
so who
already.
cares?
Yeah.
Alright, well done by Xena. Didn't have to give away any of his late game secrets either, so
True.
I just may be surprised. And I think Xena's a team of developers now, so it's, you know, the more people work on a bot, the more fleshed out it'll probably end up getting.
Yeah, the battery basically was drained right at the point that he he left.
Yeah.
Um,
You would think all that damage you put into the gateway is pointless, but when it drains the battery, it's like, oh, it's as good as attacking a stalker, I
Yeah.
guess. You know, either way, you drain the battery.
there we go. So we're gonna get Xena and Eris in the final. What do you think?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, that was one of two either we were gonna get some long drawn out games because 12 pool bot was going to surprise us all, or we were gonna get Xena do what we just saw. So, you know, of all the different possibilities that Doctor Strange saw, this was the one that showed up. And I can't say that it made for a short night, but either which way though, I think that 12 pool pot has a lot of potential, and there is for for a bot with so little code, I think it packs a lot of punch.
Yeah, it covers the main ground. Like, it's got 2 builds in that. It's, you know, not so much making decisions, but it just kind of executes it. And then we've seen a couple get unstuck things. So we saw one place that kept running into tier and it went around it. Like, that's an innovation. Or we saw one game that it played where someone had lifted a base, and after a certain period of time, it did transition and built a couple mutas. So it has enough to not be super, super basic, but it's still pretty basic. But it just kind of works.
I mean,
it
it shows
semifinals though for something so basic.
Yeah.
It shows the strength of a strong build order and a strong cheese. Because I mean, there's a lot of complex bots out there that did not even qualify for ProBots.
Yeah.
And not only did 12 ProBots surpass them, but then he made it all the way to the semifinals in ProBots as well. So, yeah. One thing you can't take away from 12 ProBot is the build order. It's like dead. It's perfect.
I was going to comment on that.
Doing.
So, Catrock, would you say that 12 pool bots build order is incredibly, because you mentioned about how Xena is very fluid in terms of how it does its build, and it's, you know, it is able to kind of adjust its build if something happens to it. But 12 pool bot has more or less taken a 12 pool and, you know, an optimized 12 pool and just execute it. And would you say that has a strong advantage than, like, putting aside 12 pool bots unable to change and respond, but the idea to have a fluid build order that can kind of come up as it needs versus a well-trained, well-oiled build order from the human bot experience, the game experience brought to a bot?
Yeah, like 2 very different things. There's probably nothing fluid about 12 pool bot. You send a worker where he wants to put his pool, you might end up breaking the bot. Like, I don't know. But
well, I mean, that optimize, like, because 12 pool bot is obviously using like a 12 pool, which is a long mainstay in, you know, human StarCraft 2, versus saying Xena, which will probably just do what is best for the time. And do you, like, is there an element where that hard and tried true build order may defeat the fluidness of just a bot doing what's optimized?
Yeah, I mean, obviously what Xena's trying to do is a lot more complex, because he has builds that are responsive, like the responding builds, not just a cheese build. But yeah, like even with 12 pool bot, it's not just the build order. It's like he saves up the larva for the Zerglings. He's speed mining. He's speed mining on the closest mineral patches, so he's fully optimized. Like, we saw this when Scarlet, when she first made her bots.
Yeah,
like, there was 4-gate bots, and then there was Scarlet's 4-gate bot, which was absolutely perfect build order plus speed mining, and it's like, okay, all of a sudden her bot went from nowhere to number 2 on the ladder. So,
I mean, I guess that is something to be said about the idea of a human build optimized for a bot versus like a bot that is just, I don't know, fluid and optimized.
Yeah, like, I mean, like, a lot of bot authors are brilliant coders who don't know anything about StarCraft 2. So sometimes you get these bots who are like, they do all these really complex things, but they're getting every single upgrade that exists, because why not get all the upgrades? Why get some when you can get all of them, you know?
wait a minute. Catrock, then what's your excuse? I'm trolling.
No, we've had a couple of GM authors as well back in the day. So.
Oh man. Okay. Well, enough of my trolling. But yeah, there we go. Let's take a look at the brackets for next. So not next week. Sorry, this Saturday. This Saturday is the finals.
Yep.
Uh,
So we have one rectangle left.
a single individual rectangle.
Yep.
Eris versus Xena.
Yep.
Ooh.
One rectangle to rule them all. Yeah, it could be interesting again because Xena switch races. We're gonna get to see, in a best of 7, quite possibly all 3 races, which will be nice to see.
Yeah.
So at least we'll get variety.
Well, that's true. It's able to represent all the bots that couldn't be there for this moment. And Xena, I feel like Xena is, if there's a bot that was able to beat Eris or could have the possibility to beat Eris, it is Xena, because Xena is so fluid, as Ketrock brought up, is that Xena is able to kind of adapt. And I feel that Eris is incredibly adaptive. So I think having both bots that can adapt in their own ways will produce, hopefully, a great result. So I don't know. We won't. What do you guys think? Well, predictions in terms of where we might land.
Overall prediction for me is probably still going to be an Eris victory, but I hope it's not a sweep. I hope that Xena does have some strong, like early timings, early cheeses that end up disrupting the Eris greedy macro play early.
Ketrock?
Yeah. I've always felt like Xena and Sharkbot have always been underperforming, we'll say. I've always felt like they had the potential to like really break out and kick butt. So I'm glad to see Xena in the finals.
And I want to say though, one thing we can't discount is the fact that, much like you brought up earlier, is that that Xena is also a team as well as Team Eris. So there is a possibility that there was enough time in their team to predict and prepare for Eris. Like there can be a level of which we don't see. Like Eris is a big target, right? And Eris has been around a long time, and so there may be something yet to be seen with Xena and being ready to hit against a Xena versus Eris final. So we don't know. I've seen some discussion in the Discord of Xena being prepared for opponents that they were coming up to. So
nice. Yeah, I'm happy with this bracket. I'm glad that Tier got to face Eris. That's a matchup I wanted to see, and I'm happy that Xena gets to face Eris. So Eris wins. It's a well-deserved victory. He's gone through some of the hardest spots. BenBot as well.
Actually, I retract my previous statement. I think Tier was actually another bot that could have taken out Eris had it been a Tier Eris finals. If we'd been that the way, right?
Yeah, I missed the series, but you took a game off of Eris, and
no, Tier was looking really, really, really good. That was, in my personal opinion, that was my favorite set for so far in this part of the bracket, this half of the tournament. But yeah, Eris, Tier was looking really strong. So
yeah. I think he has the strongest TVZ of any bots.
Absolutely.
I think it's stronger. My bot stronger than Micro Machine. His TVZ is really good.
Tier's ability to zero in on who he's going to be playing and then preparing for him, I think, is one of the strongest across the entire ProBots outside of Eris.
If he can find a weakness, he will destroy you.
Yeah, absolutely. And he has the options too, so that he has a lot of options. So it's not a lot of work on his part to maybe switch out certain or like there's so many built into Tier to either improve off of a baseline build or to swap out another build and just tweak it enough to be focused on whoever he's gonna be playing next. So he has a lot to work with, and Tier just the team Infinity Improbability Drive will they are able to just zero in on who they're going to play next. So I'm hoping Team Xena is able to show something similar against Eris, and we'll find out this Saturday. But before that, though, we'll be doing Humans versus ProBots. I actually saw some replays came in, so thank you for those who are submitting replays. !play in the chat to find download and play against these bots so that we can get your replays in. and we'll be casting them on the Saturday, which is a few short days away. To those of you who participate, Indisord, you are a veteran of the Humans versus Probots. You have protected
am.
humanity many
I
times.
have a number of times. Yeah. They tried to go back in time and kill my dad once, but it's fine. It's fine.
And
I feel like he's shorter now, but he seems to have survived.
I mean, why would they go for your dad, not you specifically? That's
Well, they did in the first. They've come after me, and I.
Oh, I see.
Right.
Oh,
so
true, true,
they
true.
gotta go after him, and he
Of
had
course.
to beat them on an Atari.
I mean, you can't get better than you can't get a better storyline than that. Like, truly, the if we talk about storylines in tournaments and esports, that is the best storyline, hands down.
That works.
Killer
Those-
Pong bots.
Those of you who are watching Terminator Zero, that is, which I would hope to watch soon. But yeah, that's our show, and then we have the finals this Saturday. ! Join to get to join up into our membership, become a ProBots member, and you can be a part of PostBots, which is tomorrow. But there's another one at the end of the month of September. So there's one at the end of each month, the last Friday of the month, or every Monday we get together and do mob programming. So either one of those programs, and then either which way, you can join and participate and help up your coding skills with making a bot. And then AIarena.net, where all these bots are playing right now. If you want to get your bot on AI Arena, there is a template in the description where you can it's ready to go. I fixed it so that there's no problems. There were some problems before, but now it works really well. Python, super simple, right out of the box, easy make bot. And then when you want to upgrade, there's a script in there to upgrade to the Eris framework. So your bot can do a lot of what Eris does with this upgrade. So that's there in the description. There you go. Cool. So anything before we leave that you guys, subscribe. Yes, for you guys. Anyone else before we leave? Any messages? What advice would you give them, Endersword, for playing the bots before?
The biggest thing is, of course, probably just remember that they are bots, and so you're probably going to want to adjust what you're doing to be anti-botish instead of anti-human. But the big thing out there too, especially since we tend to get higher level people that do it, if you're lower level, try it anyway. It doesn't matter if you lose, like whatever, it makes for a better show. If we have some people that lost, and then if you're a higher level player out there and looking to do it, do something stylish. We had people come on like last season and win with only sentries, or like win with only phoenixes, or things like that. So if you're going to do something kind of like, stunt a little bit, or set your own challenge and see what you can do.
Or at least play into their strength, right?
Yeah.
Bots are like really strong in the mid game, so
Yeah.
if you can cannon rush them,
Yeah.
in your grandmaster, don't cannon rush them.
Mm.
Play it to the mid game. Get a good game out of it,
All right.
So
So
Bronze League, do whatever it takes to win.
whatever, especially if you're going up against Eris. Especially if you're going
Yeah,
up
Eris
against
is pretty strong. Micro Machine too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Micro Machine. All right. So we'll see you this Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern, for the grand finals right here, ProBots. See you next time.